Welcome back to the shop. Today I'm going to build an extremely ugly but very functional outfeed table and side support for my table saw. So if you've watched any of my recent videos, you've probably seen that I built a new workbench. On that workbench I have my drill press and I also have my scroll saw. I designed it so I could use it as an outfeed table for my table saw. The problem with using it as an outfeed table is that there's a large gap between the table saw and the bench. My table saw is also very narrow, so it doesn't have much support on the sides. My goal with this project is to make both a side support and to fill up the gap between the table saw and the bench. The material I'm using is this hardboard, which is both really nice and smooth, so it's going to be a good surface for the work pieces to slide across, and it's also like super cheap. I think these were $4 a piece, and I'm only going to need 2 of them. These pieces are going to support the table, so they'd be spread out on this side, these 3 long pieces, and then the short piece will go underneath. I'm going to need to make a notch at the end that's against the table because the top of it overhangs just a little bit, so I need to make a notch, remove a little bit of material right here at the end. If you haven't noticed, I'm basically making this thing on the fly, so there's bound to be a few corrections along the way. One of the corrections I'm making is adding this thin piece that's going to attach to this side, and this is going to help support the outfeed section and tie the 2 pieces of hardboard together. Otherwise, that other piece will be kind of just flapping in the breeze, and I don't really want that. So I just made a little dado in these, and then made a thin piece that's going to connect to this and help support the other side. So I got everything assembled and it's basically done, but as you can see it sags a little bit on this side because it hangs so far off of the rest of the bench. So I'm going to add a diagonal piece of bracing that's going to go up against the leg of the bench that'll support this. I put the support underneath, which does a pretty good job of making it stable up and down. It's really pretty rigid, but from side to side, if I just put some pressure here, say I had a short piece of stock, I can push it down pretty easily. So I have to do something to prevent it from twisting. So let's work on that next. So I added these two side supports, And now the side table is quite stable. Really, you can't bend it side to side at all. I mean, it just like the whole thing wiggles up and down a little bit, but you're basically like lifting the bench up and down. So it's not the prettiest looking thing, but I think it's gonna work. Ended up applying 4 coats of shellac and a coat of wax, and as you can see, the miter gauge slides really easily on it, which is really nice for cross-cutting. Overall, it's worked really well for cross-cutting. It's a nice support, very even and flat with the table saw, so you don't have to worry about anything kind of tilting off to the side like I did before. Much easier to control the work. And it's also nice for ripping too, because you have a nice stable flat surface to push your work onto. So it makes cross-cutting and ripping both easier and safer. If you don't have an outfeed table or side support, I would definitely recommend making one. And this project was pretty easy to do. It only took me like a couple evenings, and it was also very inexpensive. I think I only spent about $15 on materials. Do you guys have a favorite tool, accessory, or piece of furniture that you built for your shop? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Take care.